Okay, I'm Coach Earnhardt from Rabun Gap, and tell you a little bit about the Rabun Gap football program. I spent 7 years at Asheville School, which is a conference rival right across the mountain, as the head football coach there. Decided we needed to make a change. My family and I, we fell in love with Rabun Gap and this area. When I came to Rabun Gap, it would be 7 years ago this spring, they had talked about they wanted to start football. Rabun Gap had been around for over 100 years and never had football here. And so there was some talk about it from our current head of school at that time, and I was the likely candidate. So I thought it would be 4 or 5 years before we really broke out the helmets and stuff. But year two, I was running around with a flag football group outdoors in the fall. It really was a PE class, getting some of these guys excited, and probably 6 or 7 of the kids that are current seniors or juniors on our team was actually involved with that. Year three, we bought helmets and we played 6 middle school / JV games. Year four of mine, but the second year of our program, we actually played some JV and middle school games, more of a JV schedule, and then the next year we went to varsity. So we've had 3 years of varsity football. It has been really a growing process. The first thing we did, we had to get good coaches to get this program up and running. We've had a couple that's been here that's left and moved on to other things that have been a huge part of our success in the weight room and teaching these kids how to play. Our current staff is made up of former college players at D1 and D2, D3 level, and I think that has gone a long way to being able to teach these kids how to play this game. Our first year of varsity, it was funny because we could not really coach a lot of our kids, domestic, boarding, day, international, any of them, on the little things. It was really the big things. We wanted them to go in the right direction. We wanted to make sure that they were in the right spot, trying to teach them the right technique of taking on blocks, but we were just too weak. We were too small, too weak, too young, and we just really gave up lots of points on defense and couldn't move the ball a whole lot. We committed to the weight room after year one, and that made the biggest difference. Our second year, which was last season, we won 4 games, beat some very good football teams who've been playing football for a long time because we had gained strength, and some of these kids were starting to learn how to play. And then this year, the biggest, we just continued that trend. We're bigger, we're stronger, we're better athletes than most of the teams we're playing, and it's because of all the work we've done the last few years. So it's been a great part with the coaches that we put together, and then finally the young men that we've brought in. The pipeline that we've had from the Bahamas, some young men who have come over as baseball kids. I mean, that's their love, that's what they want. But they want to try American football. And next thing you know, we've got 2 or 3 kids that are potential college-level football players if they chose to do that. We've had German students, we've had Serbian students. Of course, this year our first 2 Brazilian students who have been outstanding because they've actually played the game. They didn't show up trying to figure out how to put shoulder pads and helmets on. They've actually been able to jump out there and compete for starting jobs, and both of them are starting right now for us and have played a huge part in our success. We've had students from other countries as well, and we're trying to grow that. We're speaking to young men from Austria. We're speaking to young men from Canada. We want to be one of the most unique programs up and down the East Coast, if not in the whole country. It has been I think that's a huge part of what Rabun Gap is and who they stand for. I mean, when you walk outside on our campus and you see the 21 flags from different countries across this world, it's pretty neat to see. And we want our athletic teams to reflect that as well. And I think our football team is doing a great job of reflecting that. To hear the languages and the accents and their customs and cultures in the locker room, on the bus ride, on the field after games, it's truly an amazing experience. And I couldn't be more proud of these young men, all of them, whether they play 1 year while they're here or whether they're here for 4 years and play. I'm glad that they're a part of it, and we want to continue this thing. And our goal is to win state championships and conference championships and winning seasons, and these young men are doing a great job, and they've laid the foundation for that for future for future kids to come here and be a big part of this.